Hi everyone, Marianne Croce here from Small Biz Vantage and creator of 3-Day Weekends Coaching. I'm glad to be here each and every week on Tuesdays to give you business leadership in 15 minutes. I do these for two reasons. One is for you to shift your vantage for your perspective of your business and turn it into your competitive edge. Think a little bit differently, approach your business a little bit differently, and that can be your competitive edge. The second reason is for you to take one action item away, something that resonates with you that you could implement. I believe that owners can learn from other owners. So if you find this valuable, share it with someone that you know, invite them to join. And again, we can all learn. I believe in giving back from each other. It's part of growing. So for those that you don't know, I primarily work with owners who have teams and they are in the automotive space or skilled trades place. This is industries that I've been in, I know really well, and I admire and respect the people that are in them. A lot of times what happens is an owner gets to a point, they have the grit, the drive, and they've reached different levels of success in their business. But now what they want to do is they want to stop really going 24/7, right? Stop feeling like the business is their whole life. They want to have a life as well. And that's where I come in and I help. So let's get started with this week's topic. I come up with these topics because there's something that is relevant, timely, or I'm speaking with owners or clients and something just sparks. And I say, you know what, this would be something that I think would be useful for everyone. So this week's topic is business profitability, the not so obvious. And, when I think back when Tony and myself were opening up our business, or even like my dad was opening up his business, you think about different ways a business is being profitable. And there were some real obvious things, such as the financials of the business that an owner would need to know or learn about, because we don't know everything. So there's always something to learn. And I realized after speaking to many owners in, my space and even outside of the industry at networking events, you know, when I speak to owners and including my business partner, right, who's my husband, people that struggled with the numbers because most people were never taught about business financials, not only business financials, but finances in general. For many of us, depending on your age and when you went to school, we didn't learn that. You had to kind of figure those things out on your own. I was very fortunate, and I didn't realize how fortunate I was at the time. I didn't realize how this would help me in the future. But I had years of banking experience. So the concept of business financials and even personal financials was a strength for me. So speaking of like the obvious when it comes to business financials, I want to share with you my top 5 KPIs. Like these would be key performance indicators that business owners should learn or they should know about. And these are the ones that there's a bunch of them, but for the sake of the time of the training, I want to give you my top 5 that I think are really huge and can make a difference. So average RO, this would be your average invoice. And we're talking about in dollars and billed hours. So what is your average RO? What do you actually average in dollars, in money per invoice? And what are the billed hours? How much labor are you charging for? That would be one KPI. Another one would be your effective labor rate. This is not the labor rate that is posted. In many states, you have to post your labor rate, and some you don't. But many you do. So your posted labor rate. This isn't the labor rate that you're saying you charge. This is the labor rate that you're actually collecting on in relationship to the hours that were spent on the job. So for example, if you build out a job thinking that that job was going to take 4 hours, it's a 4-hour job. That's what it should take, depending on the skill level of the person who's working on the job. And you said, okay, this is a 4-hour job. So here's what we're going to bill out at for 4 hours. And then the job ended up taking 5 or 6. You didn't get the labor rate that you initially thought you were going to get. You actually got a much lower rate because you can't charge more. That's the price that you gave. So that would be your effective labor rate. Gross profit and net profit. I put these two together because I think they're very, very important as a KPI. So the gross profit in your business is the percentage of profit that you have from cost of goods, right? Which would be labor, your parts, your labor, your material. After you subtract that, you have your gross profit. This is the profit before any fixed costs. So what is that percentage? And your net profit is the percentage of that the business made compared to sales. So at the end, after you've paid for everything, what is net? Think of like what you catch in the net, what you end up with. What is the net profit? So what we're talking about here is the percentage in relationship to sales, because sales is a great number. I did X amount in sales this year. That's great. But what do you end up actually keeping would be the net profit. So that's that number. Is it 10% of your sales? Is it 20% of your sales? Is it somewhere in between? Is it 5% of your sales? What is the net profit? So that is a good number to know. Productivity versus efficiency. So these are, in the simplest form, clocked hours versus billed hours. So people come in and they're there for 40 hours a week. And you want to know that they were there for 40 hours a week and they were working for 40 hours a week. But how many of those hours were actually billed hours, hours that you could charge for? If you sent someone to go pick up a part, or you sent someone to a big box store to go pick up something, that's not billable time. They're productive, they're working, but were they able to bill out as much as you thought they were? So that's a really good number to know, those two. And capacity. And what is your capacity, and how are you showing up? What is the percentage? Are you at 100% capacity, 50% capacity? So out of all of the hours that are available to be sold, right, versus what was actually billed, right? Where are we? Are we at full capacity? Where are we? So those are really good numbers to know. And when you think about it, they make sense and they are more obvious. Fortunately, today, there are lots of resources available through associations, trainings, coaching, mentoring, and even your shop management system that you use to run your business. They'll actually help you and guide you with those numbers, with those KPIs. Even those, right, who could use some help with the numbers, really most people, when you talk to them, they do realize the obvious benefits of understanding and knowing business financials. So, what are they? Well, when you think about it, when you understand your business financials, you're really focused, and you can look at long-term security and the health of your business. How is my business doing? I want to, plan for the future. And I want the business to be secure. I want the team to feel secure. And numbers really help with that. In essence, they're like a report card, one of the report cards that you could use for your business. You can make better business decisions because you're more confident in those decisions, because you understand where you are and where you want to go. There's growth opportunities that may come up when you understand your financials. And when you talk about business valuation, When you have really good, solid financials and you have clean records, clean bookkeeping, clean numbers, the valuation of your business can be higher. So these do seem like obvious types of things that we can look at so that we can make our business profitable. It's also ways to find some holes in different areas that we can go in and we can do some work and we could tweak. But what is the not so obvious when it comes to business financials? What is the area that you may not really be thinking about, or it might not be so obvious that can affect your profitability? And the main thing is mindset, or the way you think about money. I'm going to repeat that. It's the mindset or the way people think about money. Because those who see money as, or profit, right, as a tool to build a business that thrives will struggle less with profit. Those who believe that they can't, they struggle with money and they feel like money will define them, and they struggle with charging a fair price because of their money stories. It really holds them back. And they will struggle even with training. They will struggle with those business financials, even with all the training available, depending on how you think and view money and the money stories that you tell yourself, the money stories that you've heard. It can really affect the profitability of your business. And it may not be so obvious to you. And this is because what we believe aligns with our actions. If you believe someone is being unfair to you, you are going to act differently with that person. If you believe that someone is going to do you harm, you are going to act differently around that person. Your actions will be different. If you trust someone and you know you can depend on someone, your actions are going to be different. So if we don't believe that we deserve it or that we've earned it, we will hold ourselves back. And I see this showing up in low labor rates, poor sales communication, the conversations they struggle with at the front counter, customer service communication issues, and team accountability challenges. Because when the training and the guidance are available and people still have issues, what happens is I start looking for the not so obvious. And here's the thing. You've taken the risk, and I am sure that you have the grit and the drive needed to make your business profitable. I'm sure of it. But are you open-minded enough to flip your money stories and your money fears? Because that's really what it comes down to. These are some of the things that I hear people saying. No one in my family or my area, maybe like my town, has ever really had a lot of money or owned a business. That's what people will say. And then there's that fear of how people are going to view you. What if you were to flip that and say, well, not any longer, because I am a business owner. Money changes people. That's another thing that I hear people say. Well, maybe it's not the money that changes people. Maybe it's the fear of the money that changes people. And when they get money, they're really not sure how to handle it. They're not really sure how to use it as a tool. So how you use it, like any tool, right, is going to make a difference. So what if it weren't that money was going to change people? What if it was going to help you grow? What if it was going to make changes in your life so that you could have a better life? You could do things for others. You can help other people. You can best serve them. What if we were to flip that story? Another common one is, money is the root of all evil. And here's the thing. Money can allow you to serve more people. Money is good if you do good with it. A lot of times people will turn it. money is a bad thing if you do bad things with it. So it's not actually the money itself. So when I dig deeper with owners and clients, they tell me that others may think differently of them if they are successful. And there's a lot of fear around the profits, the money, and the success. Relationships may change. They may even fear success because people that they know speak badly of others who have become successful. Some even justify unhealthy profits with, I have enough money to pay my bills, while they're burning themselves out, while they're working so many hours a week, while they're sacrificing so many different things, relationships, time with family and friends. But just getting by is okay for them. So, what if you can change the definition of success? What if you could look at profitability as just a part of success? It's just one little piece of it, because a business needs to be sustainable and it has to be enjoyable for long-term success. Being profitable, here's what it does. It allows you to reinvest in your business and for you to grow and for your team to grow as well. Think about the equipment that you can purchase, the tooling, the training that you can provide, benefits that you could provide. These are not bad things. These are all great things that can really change and affect people's lives. It also allows you to plan for the future. You can make better decisions quicker because you're confident in the financials. You're confident in that scorecard that you're using. Numbers alone aren't the keys to success, but it's key to being able to navigate through challenges, navigate through changes that happen in the economy, that happen in an industry, that happen with teams. So I'm curious because I would love to know what your biggest money story is or was that you had to overcome when you think back of the ways that you were taught, the things that you heard, the stories that you heard. What was the biggest thing that you had to overcome when it came to your money story? For me, when I was in banking, I heard a lot of heartbreaking stories about people that were going through real financial troubles. And I saw people like lose everything. I saw families break up, relationships break up. I saw so many different things happen when I was in banking for the 7 years. And I think the biggest money story for me was that I learned that money was a tool. It wasn't actually the money, it was how we used it. And I got over my fear of money. I didn't have to go through those things personally to experience it because I was watching it through others. And it was, I call it, like the school of hard knocks, but it really scared me straight, I have to say. And very fortunate for me that I was in my early 20s. So it scared me straight and I didn't go down that path. But being able to learn is a great way to avoid some of those pitfalls. And if you haven't, you haven't been taught and you made some financial mistakes, it's okay. Okay. Everybody is going to have something in their life that they're going to have to overcome. It's never too late to learn and it's never too late to start. And I know this group has an amazing amount of grit, an amazing amount of drive. And, we have to have a little bit of compassion for ourselves, but it is never too late to start. So that is the not so obvious about having a profitable business. And if you find this valuable, please share it with another business owner or leader that may find it valuable as well, that may benefit from this. So I look forward to next week's Business Leadership in 15 minutes. Have an enjoyable day.